All right, welcome to the after work video. In the last video, I finished configuring the extra bonus topology there's actually not an example for, but I figure I can just use it for whatever's interesting and just as an exercise to configure things. So I'm going to now use this video to do a Wireshark analysis, some of the traffic. So let's take a look at one of these links. How about this one here? So this is for that EBGP connection, and we saw in the last video all of the all of the EBGP connections were up. You can just verify that again. Oh, looks like it's being damped. Oh, no, it's just from this. So, okay, all the BGP neighborships are up on that one. Let's check this one. Yep. All up here. Here as well. Here as well. All right, so all the neighborships are up. Let's see if, because this is a port channel, so it's going to, it might not necessarily be that link that it'll go over, and that's something that's might not be on the test, so I of course don't want to spend too much time on it because I've got plenty of other material I need to get on, but just understanding how individual links are utilized in a aggregated Ethernet or in a port channel in Cisco terms is a large subject on its own. But it looks like in this case the this is the link being utilized. All right, so let's see if we can get some BGP update messages in here by distributing the routes into BGP, because I purposely left those statements all out because I wanted to apply them during a capture. All right, so let's apply it into the Biloxi router. Policy statement into BGP. So we're going to set term 1 from route filter, and it's going to be 192.168.22.0/23 exact. Set term 1, then accept, and then set term 2, then reject. Top edit protocols, BGP group, IBGP, set export into BGP. All right, so let's add it to the rest of the routers. So, or load up the rest of the routers with the BGP routes that they're going to advertise. Let's just load them all up and then do some analysis afterwards. Oops, and I forgot to do term one. And one thing to note is there's a difference between reject and discard. So reject will give you back a message saying that um, the route has been rejected, but discard, oops, actually that's for ACLs. That's not going to apply here. So, all right. So what am I? Okay, then reject. There we go. All right, time for Memphis. Okay, so Memphis is going to have a different route. Okay, now Miami, Atlanta, and Topeka. Oops, and I'm going to need to roll back 0 and change that IP. It's going to be 172.28.37.0/24. All right, one more left. All right, so everything looks like it's good to go. And we can see we are learning BGP routes. Looks like the only route we've learned so far is 22.0/23. So we've only so far learned the route from Biloxi, which is interesting. I wonder why those other routes haven't been learned from Topeka. And extra curious, I wonder why the only one has been learned by Biloxi. I would think maybe something like Jackson would be the one that is learned. I don't understand why Biloxi. But let's take a look at it. Maybe there's some clues. I do detail. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why that is being there. So it looks like the capture stopped. So I'm going to stop and quit without saving. And then open it up a new one. Okay. So now we'll get some updates, I would think. Let's see here. This is Topeka. So I think I'd get updates. But nope, just keep alive, it looks like. Which is interesting. Well, there might be a time when I gotta move on because just kind of straying from the path isn't, I think, going to be productive. I will try to ping from each address to every other address. But it looks like there is something wrong with my export policies. I'm going to need to set up those policies differently. I'm going to need to learn more about BGP import and export policies, which is kind of the whole purpose of this thing. So I'm not going to just give that up. I'm definitely going to come back and do that. I might need this video to be kind of shorter. So okay, well, Jackson has more routes. Looks like it's got both of these, but let's see what Memphis has. So Memphis has both of them as well, but the one from Topeka only has one of those routes. Oh, and looks like Miami doesn't have any through BGP. And of course that could be because, well, so I noticed my export is not here. Right. So I am going to need to apply this policy. I can't just, oh yeah, right. Because when I went through to each one, this is the only configuration I put in. So, yep, I'm going to need to fix that. So, kind of surprised I was able to, oh, this is probably the only one where it's actually applied. Show configuration, pipe display set, pipe match, export, import. It's going to be export, and I think it was on Jackson where I applied. Well, actually, it's going to be on Biloxi. I know it's going to be on Biloxi because that's the only one that's getting through. Yep. So Biloxi, we're going to see. Yep, there it is. But all the other devices don't have that. So that's why we're only seeing Biloxi and not any others because I thought I added the export to the other ones, but I only added it to Biloxi. So let's add that export to all of the routers. So it's going to be for IBGP, of course, but we'll need to do one for EBGP as well. It's just interesting that Topeka is able to get it from Biloxi if it was, I guess you don't need any special import. You don't need anything special to handle it going from IBGP to EBGP. Whoops. So one of these only has EBGP, and that is Topeka. So for Topeka, I won't need that policy. Okay, but then for Memphis, Atlanta, Jackson, I'll need both of them, and then Topeka, I'll just need it in the IBGP, but here EBGP group. But here's where it gets interesting. Do I need it as on Jackson, do I need it as an export group for IBGP and for EBGP? Do I need it as an import group for both? Or do I need one as an import and one as an export? So that's what I'm going to find out. So now where I only have these, I'll have plenty more because I got those extra statements on there. So I thought I would. I don't know why they're not showing up. Okay. So Memphis seems to be doing fine. It's got everything from, let's see here. So show route protocol BGP. So it's got 3 of them. It's got 0.16.23, but then it's also got this one from Miami here, but it's missing the one from Atlanta and the one from Topeka. So let's take a look. And incidentally, those are all going to be in the IBGP neighbor group, or the EBGP neighbor group. This one, it looks like, yeah, so the only routes it has are the routes that were initially IBGP, or at least in the neighbor group. They were in a neighbor group IBGP, but anything that's EBGP, it does not have. I'm surprised. I wonder if it can even ping this. Yeah, that's what I would have thought. It can't even ping it. Like, it's got the routes, but it can't ping the routes. And it gets, yeah, because here at Atlanta, there's an issue. All right, so I think I'm going to end the video here, just because I don't want to get too deep into it now. I don't feel like I can go for a really long time. And I definitely want to give this its due credence, because this is going to be a deep dive into routing policy. It's really going to solve once and for all the debate about whether something needs to be imported or exported, and why. So I'm going to end the video here, and then stay tuned for the next video where I dive really deep into BGP update messages and BGP import and export policies, and really figure out how they work, and make sure that from any device I can ping from its loopback to any other loopback. So stay tuned. Good stuff to come.